Why? Because protection. It's funny, when I was growing up, I think I told you, I grew up with a very strong mom, and she was very, very like masculine, because she was the best survivor I know. Like, you could put her in a fucking military camp and she would find her way like out of there, and maybe even like make friends along the way. She literally has traveled to almost all the continents. She's gone all the way on her own when she was 60 something. She like 50 something, she hiked the glaciers, she like went down Antarctica, like she's done all this crazy shit. And yet, like, I admired her so much growing up because I thought this lady creates a strong level of like, you know, survivor masculinity, like toughness. So I over-validated it. But as a boy, I didn't receive that level of nurturing, that level of softness, that level of care from her. Now, my mom learned to take care of her own needs. She actually didn't really need my dad for so many things. She provided that level of safety, provided everything. But therefore, my mom raised girls who were also very masculine. My sisters also developed a lot of masculine energy, who tended to manifest partners who were more feminine, in my opinion, because of their own dominant masculine energy. But one of the key things in here was she also lacked a huge amount of trust when it came to another man. I could see that with my mom and dad constantly. But what it did for me is it raised me with a strong feeling of like this feminine energy of where I could be so carefree and lack that responsibility. And there's nothing wrong with that in general as human beings. But if I'm trying to manifest a partnership where I can make a woman feel safe, she's not going to feel safe. So, because I had such strong women growing up in my household, when I had partners, I was like, okay, we have to split everything 50-50. Down the middle, you know, I pay for this, you pay for this. You have to, like, you know, bring your own money to the table, and everything has to be equal financially there. And I think, in my personal opinion, when I came to North America, that was so easy. Because I had so many masculine women who were all like, yeah, let's split 50-50. In fact, it gave them a sense of validation that, oh, I'm surviving and competing with a man. That's another, before I forget that. I'm competing with a man, and so therefore, I feel great. Because their level of masculinity is now being challenged. My level of masculinity went down, her level of masculinity went up, made for terrible fucking relationships. Literally. Masculine will also step into providing. Bless you. Providing. Now, providing doesn't have to only be financial. Providing is like providing safety, providing security, providing a sense of, wow, I haven't fucking downloads. Providing protection, all of these things. But it is therefore their representation of stepping into the giving. Okay, now the reason why I say this, think about sex. What is it that the masculine does? It gives, it penetrates. Who's the one who releases the I'm trying to think what else I can call it. Who releases the fluid at the start that creates the life force? It's the man. It gives. What does the feminine do? It receives. You cannot. And for the principle of evolution, like obviously, you know, we can dive deep into, I don't think it's feminism anymore. I think it's like radical feminism. It's almost like wounded feminism, where it's like, why must I always be the one receiving? I want to give. But how does that help our evolution as a species? Like even reproductively, we're not capable of that. One is designed to give, and the other is designed to receive. And there's power in both. One is not better than the other. That's the best part. We've been like raised thinking in a wounded masculine society that one is so much better, so I want to be that. Fuck no, are you nuts? There's so much that these guys cannot do that these beautiful flowers can do. But we have to learn to validate that. So we'll get back into that in just a second. I want to breeze through this a little more. So giving, okay, which is, I'm just going to put here penetration, and I'm not talking only sexually, but penetration. And I'm going to talk about one more that's really interesting here, which is actually a healthy masculine trait, discovering and adventuring. Okay? Men are designed naturally to be discoverers and adventurers. What this means is not everybody has to fucking travel like Christopher Columbus, but what this actually means is men love spreading out. They love discovering new lands. They love like finding new things, like hobbies. Now, here's another one which I want you to really allow and listen to and trust your femininity in moving with This is where the wounded feminine, especially with like masculine conditioning in North America, gets very challenged by leadership. A healthy masculine will naturally be a healthy leader. They will not shame and judge any member of their community, their cults or anything, which means this is a strong one. Technically, if the masculine is the father who's the leader of the family, he will not shame, judge, or criticize any member of the family, even if they have a different sexual orientation, a sexual preference, even if they're not good at academics or whatever or any of that. They will challenge them. They will challenge them, let's say if they're not, doing well at school or blah, 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 but they will not shame, judge, or criticize them. This is so big because, so coming out, especially I would say like in a lot of military conditioning, a lot of like hyper-structured, wounded masculine conditioning that may exist in different places, there's a lot of shame around emotions. Dads shame their kids a lot around like being emotionally expressive, being in touch with their emotions, which ultimately leads to those kids suppressing their emotions, becoming avoidant, and then becoming a wounded masculine, pulling away, not expressing, not being good leaders in their families, not therefore providing enough emotional safety for the family because they themselves don't have any idea of emotional safety, therefore not being a safe place for the women or the feminine to express themselves intellectually. A healthy masculine who is the leader is also in touch with their emotions. With emotions, and I'm writing this, oh my god, I hope this pen lasts. Emotions, no shame. This is a big one. Hey, and welcome to the Inner Yats YouTube page. If you like our content, make sure you click the like and the subscribe button so that you get more of these amazing videos that keep coming your way.